Hello and welcome. In this video I want to talk about the new DLC Curse of RIGEL and the new content that it provides, so you can decide if it's worth to you to buy it or not. As always, this video is full of spoilers, so be aware. If you want to figure everything out by yourself, then you can do that and, well, close the video. Okay, jump right into the DLC. There are basically two parts. The first one is the content exclusively to this region. So there's a lot of stuff that don't really is connected to everything else, and it's only useful while in this region. The same like for the Balerian DLC, or the ship upgrades for your ship. Well, you don't care about ship upgrades when you leave the region, right? And there's also a lot of stuff that is only relevant when you are in this region. And therefore I will briefly tell about these stuffs, but the most important stuff is actually all the content that is important for the entirety of the game. So the weapons, the class, whatsoever. Yeah. So we have a new region with the DLC, and it's connected through a little mountain pass here to the Drumbach county from the kingdom of Alazar. And this region has basically everything that a standard region has: a prison, a tomb, arena, and so on and so on, that you can discover a lot of point of interests. Okay, so the DLC also comes with a new class. This is probably the biggest change, because the new class is actually free for all. So everybody has access to the new class and the three base subclasses: the coordinator, the healer, and the mixologist. And also when you reach level 15, you unlock the fumigator as a master class. But exclusively to this DLC is the agitator. You obtain this one by completing the arena, and therefore you have the unique perk Bewitching Inhalation and Hyperventilate. So these are unique perks that you only have access to when you buy the DLC. Also, there are two unique weapons for the new class that you can only obtain when you own the DLC, and this is the weapon you obtain from beating the arena or the arena boss, which is this one. It's a more supportive or healing oriented item. And you have the legendary one that is provided from the tomb. If you decipher the tomb rewards, you get this legendary weapon. If these are viable depends highly on the viability of the class itself. Yeah. Then the second part of the DLC, or that second most important part, is the new faction. We have a new faction. The faction is called what is the name again? Let me check. King's Knights. So the King's Knights are a new faction, and they drop new unique armor sets and weapons. Currently I have not found anything of interest. They look pretty cool, I think, but that's all. As you can see here, I have the light armor set, and it does not provide any, well, rare or unusual buff, as for example the light set from the Captain's Guard, which provides willpower and range, which the new faction does not. But the new faction has new helmets and therefore also new helm stems, and I have to point out the heavy helmet, the padding lining, or whatever it's called. I think this one is pretty interesting. Every time this unit is hit by an attack, they gain 5% extra guard, up to 80% obviously, because you can't you cap out at 80% guard always. But I think with this one, with this new helm stem, you can do fun stuff. We have also a new helm stem from the light armor, That's not that interesting. Then for the final boss, we have a unique weapon, a legendary spear. Sadly, spearmen are not that great in theory. Well, you can play with them obviously, but uh, they are not very good in direct in direct comparison to every other class. So if this spear is worth it or not depends on the strength of spearmen. We have also, yeah, unique shields or loot from the new faction as well. So currently there's nothing crazy, so like the Lazarian heater shield, but interesting. So it's just a little bit of more variety of stuff. Speaking of more variety, in the new region, if you completed the main quest, you actually, and that's a really plus for this DLC, you can actually find Lazarian soldiers here, because these are part of the guard. So the King's Knight and the Lazarian soldiers are the guardsmen in this region, and therefore you can farm the Lazarian heater shield in this region very easily, because you have now access to a region which spawns these units, which is quite nice. Then we can look in the compendium. We have obviously more food, for example a tea and well, roasted rabbit, more trash food, nothing really crazy. We have also special buff food, but I have to tell you, as I mentioned earlier in the video, a lot of stuff from this DLC only boosts you in the new mechanics from this region. For example, this meal gives you mental health recovery. Mental health is just a new resource that you consume in the forest, but when you don't, well, when you when you when you don't farm in this region, and if you are somebody else somewhere else, then this food does nothing basically, as well at the feast. So the mental health is not really really interesting. Okay, I can shortly show you what I mean. So when you enter a forest, you lose your ability to navigate, so you have your lantern. Currently it's off, but I can spend fuel to increase the range. And here you can see the mental health, which decreases as long as we are here in the woods. Nothing crazy. Yeah, we have the werewolves. I will come to them later. These are new enemies as well, besides the faction. So, okay, so we go to the werewolves now. They are just regular enemies, you can kill them. You need to farm them actually, because they drop really important ingredients. But you can also be bitten by a werewolf, or you can transform your units with alchemy into werewolves. And the werewolf is basically just a regular unit. For example, this guy is a sportsman, a regular sportsman, but he has also the trait that he can transform into a werewolf. And in the werewolf form he has different abilities. If these are, well, strong or useful, highly depends on, well, the handling of the combat handling of these classes. And as I said, the DLC provides much support for this type of stuff. So when I go to my camp, you actually get a new camp equipment, the field laboratory, where you can research different upgrades. Most of these upgrades are just relevant for new mechanic. For example, what do we have here? Yeah, you have more mental health, or the fuel that you can craft fills your lantern more, stuff like that. But you also discover upgrades for your werewolves. I've already crafted all of them. Here they are. So you can upgrade your werewolf. This is basically skill books, because when you are in the werewolf form, you can't obviously use your taunt ability, for example. You have different abilities and different perks, and you have to use your different your different stimulants and your different ejections to boost stuff. Also, to upgrade these abilities, you have the muscle stimulant, so you can't use regular skill books to upgrade these. You have to craft them, and these aren't cheap, so you have to farm a lot of resource, which is quite hard to do. You have to kill a lot of werewolves to get the resources, and you have to also find in the woods specific loot to craft these. So upgrading or max out the werewolf is not an easy task. It's actually quite time consuming to do so, and therefore I will do two different videos in the future. One explaining everything which is connected to the werewolf and how you do that, and the other one is obviously everything for the new class. So I will do also a new video about this one. Okay, so we have the different weapons, we have the different gear, and now we have as well different alchemy stuff. For example, a heal against the infection, all this stuff I told you, the injections to increase or buff your werewolves, a new bomb that is strong against werewolves, pretty much useless because you only can fight them in the new region, and you don't really use them as well. Bombs aren't meant to use. Okay, we have also some belt equipment. That is where it is. Where's the belt equipment? Is it here? Some belt equipment that is quite interesting. For example, the catapult, throwing skill range +3, and also some equipment. For example, the lantern. You can increase your lantern, but that's not relevant outside of this region. Where's my belt accessories? Here. You have from the sepulchre door this belt accessory, which is, I think, pretty cool. I have a lot of ideas to max out the value of this one, and the other ones are just tied to your werewolves, so not really interesting for your other guys. And that's basically it. We have a new armor layer, which increases critical hit and critical damage, which is quite nice. It's a good question if this one is actually better than the 15% crit hit. And the downside, I'm not sure. The saber-tooth brush is pretty good. And that's already it. We have talked about the cooking stuff. We have the new armor layer, the weapons, the lantern stuff, and the field laboratory are just relevant for the werewolf. So that's basically it. If I forget something, you can write it down in the comments as well. But now you have pretty much an insight what you can expect from the new DLC. And I hope you use this knowledge wisely. That's all. See you in the next one. Bye.